Aussie Pond Guy here, coming to you with a topic that I really wanted to share with you today, and that topic is how to stop birds from eating your fish. Now, it's something that happens regularly. I'll have customers come through, whether it be in my store or if I'm doing a pond build, and or they've got an existing pond, and they come out and all the next minute, the fish have been reduced to zero, or they've got some fish with some funny sores or marks on them where they've had a few near misses, and it's a common thing. How do I stop the birds from eating my fish? Now, a backyard pond is awesome because it promotes biodiversity, brings in more insects, frogs move in to make their home there, and it's one of those just beautiful things that we can have in our backyard, and something that, although it's promoting that great biodiversity and bringing in all the new animals and critters, it also tends to attract the birds, and the byproduct of that is that if you have some beautiful fish in your pond, chances are the birds are going to want to eat them for lunch. So today I'm bringing you my 5 best ways, what I think are the best ways for stopping the birds from eating your fish. Now, the first one is one that often goes underlooked, and that's underwater structures. Now, whenever I'm building a pond, I'll try and incorporate structures such as logs. Got one here. Logs, old pieces of wood, plenty of rock caves, pot plants and things like that in the base, maybe an old terracotta pot that's broken, and I'll try and prop it up so it creates little caves and little places for the fish to get away and hide. Not only does it provide places for the fish to hide, but I'm also convinced that it also gives the birds, I guess, a bit of a second thought as to whether or not they're going to go straight for the fish, otherwise they're going to risk injuring their face and their head. So number 1 would be underwater structures. Number 2 would be fast fish. Now, this is something that, depending on what pond you want, is often overlooked as well. Fast fish, medium fish and slow fish tend to survive better in outdoor ponds. So native fish such as rainbow fish or Pacific blue eyes tend to be quite fast swimmers, and they tend to get out of the way of the predatory birds and get away unscathed a lot better off than some of your larger fish like your goldfish and your koi, your Japanese koi. Japanese koi and comets and shabunkins are fairly fast fish, and they tend to be able to get away. As long as you've got those underwater structures there, they're able to get away and sort of avoid the predatory birds. Fish like fantails and black moors, your larger sort of ornamental goldfish, they're quite slow. They've got beautiful long flowing fins, and they're sort of easy targets for predatory birds, so watch out for those guys. Now, surface water plants, although not the best barrier, also add to provide that structure. So number 3 is surface water plants. So things like water lilies, with their beautiful green lily pads on the surface of the water. Fringe lilies, water poppies, anything with little lily pads or pads that float on the surface of the water, although are a soft sort of barrier, provide a good amount of shade for the bottom, and also provide areas for the fish to escape to and hide. And other plants like milfoil or ratala tend to grow up and sort of spread across the surface of the pond, although also a soft barrier will also keep the fish well hidden and give them a chance to actually get away from the birds. Number 4, and probably the one that most people expect at number 1, is pond nets. Now, pond nets, when I look at pond nets, I sort of get a bit, sort of cringe a little bit, because I'm not a huge fan. They take away massively from the aesthetics of the pond, and we also want these natural, beautiful looking ponds, and pond nets really do take away from that. However, they're incredibly effective. Now, I'd recommend a good pond net that's of a dark colour, like a dark green or a dark black. I've got one here. This is an Awaza pond net. Now, I always recommend Awaza because they're incredibly high quality. They just seem to last a lot better in our Australian conditions. But you can also see this one's like a dark green colour. Now, pond nets that are white or bright green obviously are not going to blend as well on the surface of the pond and can look quite unattractive. When you put the pond net on, it's good just to pull it taut over the surface of the pond. You don't really want it sitting on top of the water. You don't want the fish to get caught in it. You want it to stay about 100 mil to maybe 150 mil above the surface of the water. You can do that by putting stakes in around the edges to pull it tight, or you can also wrap it around rocks, and that will also just keep it nice and taut. And if you've got a high quality net, it's not going to stretch. It'll stay taut, and you'll only need to move it when you need to access to trim back some pond plants or something like that. Now, number 5, I've left this for last because I'm just not a fan of this. I love natural looking ponds. I love really, trying to make a pond look like it's been there for 150 years. And this is an area though, however, that a lot of my customers have had a good amount of success with, although varying success. And that is that it has worked really well in some situations for some customers, but not so well for other situations. So putting out distractions. So when I say distractions, I mean things like rubber snakes, rubber spiders, any sort of bug or thing that looks dangerous to a bird. You can put them around on the surface of the pond or on the rocks or around the pond. That can scare away predatory birds. I've also heard of customers putting out fake, flamingos and herons around the pond, and they've had some varying success. Some of them have worked really well. I've recommended some customers in some situations and it didn't work so well, but it can work really well. Another really effective way of keeping birds away is stringing fishing line across the surface of the pond with the old compact disc, the CD, attached to that fishing line, and as it blows in the breeze and shoots off light, it also works as an effective deterrent for keeping predatory birds away. Now, once again, I'm not a huge fan. To me, it looks ugly, and I want to steer clear of it. Maybe a rubber snake, but look, hey, everyone's different. A lot of customers are quite happy with the CDs working because they're more concerned about keeping their fish safe, and they're not too concerned about the aesthetics of the pond. So, hope this has been really helpful. So how to stop birds from eating your pond fish. If you need to read some more information, I've got it on the website at www.thepondplace.com.au. If you've got any questions at all, please pop one down in the comments and I'll be happy to get back to you. Other than that, you can connect with me on Facebook at Aussie Pond Guy. Anything you need to know, give us a call. So Aussie Pond Guy out. You guys have an awesome day. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.